In the height of the 1877 Depression, a group of white farmers gathered together on a farm in Texas and formed the first Farmers Alliance. In a few years, it was across the state. By 1882, there were 120 sub-alliances in 12 counties. By 1886, 100,000 farmers had joined in the 2,000 sub-alliances. They began to offer alternatives to the old system, join the alliance and form cooperatives, buy things together and get lower prices. They began putting their cotton together and selling it cooperatively. They called it bulking. In the summer of 1886, in the town of Cleburne, near Dallas, the alliance gathered and drew up what came to be known as the Cleburne Demands, the first document of the populist movement asking such legislation as shall secure to our people freedom from the onerous and shameful abuses that the industrial classes are now suffering at the hands of arrogant capitalists and powerful corporations. They called for a national conference of all labor organizations to discuss such measures as may be of interest to the laboring classes, and proposed regulation of railroad rates, heavy taxation of land held only for speculative purposes, and an increase in the money supply. By 1889, the Kansas Alliance had 50,000 members and was electing local candidates into office. Now there were 400,000 members in the National Farmers Alliance, and the conditions spurring the alliance onward got worse. Corn, which had brought 45 cents a bushel in 1870, brought 10 cents a bushel in 1889. Basically, a lot of leaders were kind of coming about during this time that were populists, like Mary Ellen Lease. There's somebody else here, Ignatius Donnelly, who were all speaking to the people. We have to resist against this disparity, this accumulation of wealth, this unfairness, all of that. A new political party had the job of uniting diverse groups: Northern Republicans and Southern Democrats, urban workers and country farmers, black and white. A colored farmers' national alliance grew in the South and had perhaps 1 million members, but it was organized and led by whites. There were also black organizers, but it was not easy for them to persuade black farmers that even if economic reforms were won, blacks would have equal access to them, because the people that were leading these movements were white. Blacks had tied themselves to the Republican Party, the party of Lincoln and civil rights laws. The Democrats were the party of slavery and segregation. As Goodwin puts it, in an era of transcendent white prejudice, the curbing of vicious corporate monopoly did not carry for black farmers the ring of salvation it had for white agrarians.